Going on, guys? In this one we're resetting up one of my 20-gallon fish tanks here. This is one I've been thinking about breaking down, but for now I'm just going to redo the scape so it's a little bit simpler. We've got some pretty decent plant growth growing on in there right now, at least with those two big front plants, so we're hoping to keep those in there and keep those alive. If we do end up taking this tank down, I want to keep this tank as kind of a grow out tank. But those plants right there in the front, those are cryptocorn Wendeti greens. And then on the branches there, we've just got Marimo moss ball that I kind of pulled apart and glued on there. Not really in love with that. They've got a little extra moss on them, but we'll take those out. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, we're going to get the tank drained, drop that water level a little bit just so we can do a little bit of a water change once we get all the new hardscape in there. Gave it a little bit of time just for that water to clear here as we get back into taking everything out. Took out those old branches as well as those old rocks. We ended up using those rocks in the new hardscape, so you'll see those back here in a little bit. Got everything out. There's a few small rocks, and then I pulled out the little Vallisneria that's in the back that wasn't doing so hot. Then we got just a little bit more cleaning going on, sucking out a little bit more of that just dust and crap that's settled in there. So once we got all that kind of cleaned out, I played around with the rocks on the floor a little bit. My original idea was going to be to have like a stone archway built over in this, but I ended up kind of going for a fallen arch just because I couldn't get those rocks all the way across to each other, and I didn't want to have something unstable in the tank that's going to fall over, hurt any fish, or more likely just break the glass and have that entire tank leak. So you can see the general idea there through that murky water, but we'll go ahead, we'll get this tank filled back up as well as a few small rocks added just to finish off that hardscape look. So I got the tank filled back up here. The most important thing here is to make sure that you dose the tank, with a little tap water cleaner. So we've got that here. Get that added to the tank, as well as a little API leaf zone, just a little fertilizer for the plants. And this is aquarium salt. This is a freshwater tank, but I do find that keeping that salt in there definitely cuts back on diseases and helps a lot. So just a little bit goes a long way in these freshwater tanks. And here's that finished product. I think it turned out pretty good. I definitely didn't make it any easier to move with this new hardscape, but I do like the lack of the branches with that old ugly moss on. You might be able to see back there in that left corner, I've had some Vallisneria back there for a little bit. The heater was back there with it though, and I think that extra heat right there was kind of killing them. I moved that heater all the way back over to that right side. You're not technically supposed to put them vertical, but that's directly under the filter. So I think that'll do a pretty good job of pushing that heat around throughout the tank. I've had it set up that way for a few days, and the temperature in the tank seems to be pretty consistent. So hopefully that Vallisneria will start coming in, kind of filling that back wall so it doesn't look so empty. And then those cryptocorns hopefully will keep growing for me. As far as stocking goes in this tank, we've got about a dozen neon tetras. We've had them for about a year or so. They're doing pretty well, pretty easy to keep. And we've got, I think, half a dozen autosynclus in there currently. The autosynclus are just basically a small genus of catfish. They clean up after the other fish, a little bit of a cleanup crew. There's one that's been swimming around towards that bottom arch, as well as one that's stuck on that back wall. That's a wrap on this one, guys. We'll leave you here with a cinematic shot for a little bit, but make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss what's up next. Thanks for watching.